It says, reading from the sacred scroll, beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn, alone among God's primates. He kills for sport, or lust, or greed. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land.
That sound like the so-called white man to me.
Esau.
Go ahead, brother.
It says, let him not breed in great numbers.
Well, wait a minute. That links up with Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, that they do not rise nor possess the cities. That's Isaiah 14 and 21 right there.
You could do a lesson on that. Just on that.
Go ahead.
Let him not.
Shalom, shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham Rachak Wadash. Double honor to the others and the apostles of great millstone who are pushing this 100% truth of the gospel, waking up and sealing the elect of the nation of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai. And salutation unto your sincere Akemat that are pushing this gospel in all righteousness and sincerity, risking your lives and your freedom to do so. And I got, and then I just say, this camp, yes, the other apostles, they did a beautiful camp, concerning the normal things they always go into, lots of information, lots of edification. And they brought out that quote from Planet of the Apes, from the scrolls that the apes read when they, when they had met that the main character, Charlton Heston, and the apostles, they always bring this out, where they brought out the whole quote. And the apostle around now said that you could use that to do a lesson, and he was right. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Try to add more onto that. Onto what they brought out. With this video right here. I downloaded. Okay, wrong one. Okay, here it is. So making a mistake. Okay, here it is. So I downloaded the whole video and I decided to just go into it to bring out to filter it through the scriptures, because when that because that whole quote, okay, everything that these Esau talking about, this is Esau through and through, okay, Esau all the way, 100% Esau. Everything that they mentioned, every single sentence, every single paragraph, every single comma, every single dot was speaking about Esau. You can bring out scriptures upon scriptures upon scriptures of them, because as you're listening to that quote, scriptures are just going through your mind like this is all about, this is Esau, this is Esau, this is Esau all the way. And nobody can tell me that it wasn't the spirit, that the spirit wasn't on the script writers to they don't exactly know their names, but the script writers to make that quote right there, man. Alright, so let me go into the video.
What I know of man was written long ago, set down by the greatest ape of all, our lawgiver. Cornelius, come here. Reach into my pocket. Read to him the 29th scroll, 6th verse.
Beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn. Alone.
Beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn. And this audio isn't really that loud, so if you can't hear it, so I'm just going to repeat it. Beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn. And what the scriptures actually even go into that, talking about Esau being a beast, okay? The scripture says they are natural brute beasts, they are children of base men, they are viler than the earth. Right? Devil's pawn. And we call them devils, and the word devil just means false accuser. We know that they are the agents of Satan, the agents of the spiritual demon of Satan on the left hand side. Right, so let me get a few precepts going into that. I think this is how I'm going to do it. Just play a little bit of it, pause the video, get some precepts, play a little bit of it, pause the video, get some precepts. So the first precept I'll get in the book of 2 Peter 2. Yeah, the 12th chapter, and it reads 2 Peter 2 verse 12. But these, as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. Okay, and the power I wanted to get was natural brute beasts. So let me see if I can get this word, natural brute beasts, in the blue letter. A logos zone. Alright, so let me get the word beast first. So the word beast is zone. Let me see if I can get the audio.
Strong's G 2226. Zoan. Zoan.
G2226. Zoan. A living being, an animal, brute, or beast. So the scriptures likens them to animals. Alright, so let me also get the word brute. The word brute is alogos.
Strong's G 249. Oligos. Oligos.
This is it right here. Alogos. Destitute of reason, contrary to reason, absurd. Alright, so that's the definition of what brutes, brutes unreasonable. This just points to Esau all the way, brute and unreasonable. And it's like I'm trying to think of a precept, because when we saw that term unreasonable, I'm trying to think of a precept, that backs that up. I can't really remember anyone. Nothing comes to mind. Alright, nothing comes to mind. Okay, so let me go back to the video. Let me play back to the video. I forgot the.
Among God's primates, he kills for sport. Beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn.
Right, devil's pawn. Show. right, devil's pawn. Alright, to show you that Esau is this so-called wife, and these people that are on the earth right now is the devil, and that simply can be done just by going into the meaning of the word devil. Okay, let me go to that. Let me get Revelation. Let me just use Revelation 2 verse 10. Here it is. Revelation 2 verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So this is a prophecy speaking on the devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man that is on the earth today, which is the wicked, and they are the devil, because if you go into the word devil, okay, Diabolos. So let me bring it out. G1228. You're already going to this word many a times. So diabolos, and it means prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely, a culminator, false accuser, slanderer. A metaphor applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of the Most High, may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. So Esau truly is the devil's pawn. Okay, and when he talks about the man, he's talking about the whole nation, because we already know that when we speak of Esau, Edom, we're speaking of the whole nation. We already know that when the Most High talks about the man of sin, the son of perdition, he's speaking about the whole nation that came out of that man of sin, that son of perdition, including him and his seed after him, because they are all unrighteous, they are all spoiled. And if you need a precept for that, you can go into the book of Micah chapter 2. I believe that is from verse 3 or 4, where it talks about, behold, I bring forth the evil against this whole family. Do I plot an evil from which they shall not remove their necks or go away haughtily? Alright. So beware of the beast man, because Esau is a brute, a natural brute beast. He's an unreasonable, beast-like human on the earth, right? Because of his wickedness and because of his treachery, because of his deceit, because of his lies. He cannot, because he basically cannot act civilized, right? He has no honor, he has no shame. Okay, for he is the devil's pawn. That's why we call him a devil, because he plays the part of the devil on the earth today. He plays the part of Satan on the earth today. All right. So let me also get the book of Job chapter 30. Right, the book of Job chapter 30 verse 1, and it reads, "But now they that are younger than me have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished." Alright. "For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, and in former times desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the earth, in the caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, and under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth." And this is speaking of the Edomites, okay, Esau, Edom, because Even the scriptures tell you now that these Edomites, they are the basest of men, alright? The during the time when they were living in caves, when they were the Caucasians, the cave dwellers, you know how these devils get down, and you know how sick, you know how sick and depraved they are, you know how disgusting, their actions are, you know what they are, the kind of wickedness that they are always involved in, they are always the chief of it, they go into the most perverse and the most evil and the most disgusting acts known to man. These devils are the pioneers of it. Right, going back to that video, continuing on.
Alone among God's primates, he kills for sport or lust.
Alone among God's primates, So in other words, because this devil has this whole evolution folly, but let's just substitute the word primate for the word human, for the word nations, or the word people, or the worlds, alone among the worlds. And that reminds me of the precept in the book of okay, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about the exact precept, but in the book of Obadiah, where it talks about, where he said that he made them small among the heathen. Let me get that. Here it is, Obadiah 1 verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised, because these people all over the earth now, they are against this devil, they are against Esau. I know back in the book of Isaiah chapter 14, it also says that all the nations, that in that day all the nations will gather and make the taunting proverb against thee, saying, is this the man that did weaken the nations? I made the world a wilderness, that opened not the gate of his prisoners. Because right now, as Esau as the ruler of this world, right now Esau as the ruler of this world, he has oppressed all nations and oppressed all people, and he has gathered all the nations unto himself. As the scripture says, that he is a vain man, because he keepeth not at home, because he goes around through all these nations, spoiling and destroying, slaying and spoiling as he goes, which also links perfectly with the next statement that he made, saying that what he kills for sport, he kills for fun, he kills for lust, because this is what Esau does. His blessing is the sword, and with the sword he has gone throughout the earth. And let me get that precept. I think that is in the book of Revelation. I don't want to I don't want to put any precept that is not actually okay. Revelation chapter 6. Alright, now it's in the book of Revelation chapter 6, and this is the book of Revelation 6 verse 4, and it reads, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. And that red horse is speaking of the whole nation of Esau, Edom, man. So whether they are killing each other, whether it's Edomite against Edomite or Edomite against any other nation, these devils, they love to kill, they love to shed blood. Even scripture said that what they have not hated blood. Okay, sit thou as as scripture said. Let me get that. Here it is, book of Ezekiel 35 and verse 6, and it reads, therefore as I live, saith Yahweh, I will prepare. Let me that this precept is speaking of Esau, Edom. And I wanted to go up and read the part where it's talking about how the Ezekiel 35 verse 1. Sorry, Ezekiel 35 verse 2, where he says that what, son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. And jumping down to verse 6, and jumping down to verse 6. Okay, Ezekiel 35 verse 6. This is against Esau, Edom, a prophecy against Esau, and it reads, therefore as I live, saith Yahweh of power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast hated blood, sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And if you go into the laws of the scripture, it says that what? That the blood is the life, that the blood is the life of the flesh, okay? The blood is the life of every living thing. The blood and the flesh are the life of every living thing. And that the blood defiles the land, and the blood of a land can't be cleansed except the blood of those that let me get that. So okay, I don't want to butcher that precept, so I have to bring it out, Alright, so this is the book right here, book of Numbers 35 verse 33, and it reads, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Okay, that is plain right there. Esau has defiled all the lands on this planet, not just with all his abominable and wicked acts. Of course, his murders are also one of his abominable and wicked acts. So now you see more and more reason. This devil's crimes, his wickedness is piling up against him. Even set from putting aside, okay, the fact that he had put his hands on his brethren. Any wicked thing that you could think of that Esau did, guess what? That quote actually talked about it. So that this is solely on Esau Edom. And rather than what this devil is trying to do, he's trying to he's trying to bring up that whole planetary solidarity where all humans, so all my sins, you share in it as well. He's trying to accuse the whole earth of his wickedness. So that's why the devil is trying to bring that whole, we're all humans, that whole coexist doctrine. He's trying to bring that whole philosophy of everybody existing together, because he's trying to share his sins with everybody else. He's trying to lay his sins upon you. He's trying to join you to him so that he can fall for his own sins, for his own wickedness. Because there are so many nations on the earth that haven't done even half of the wickedness that Esau has done. But he is trying to make them think that they were all one. Let's live in peace and unity, so that he can share in my wickedness, and so he can share in the reward of my wickedness as well. That's why we're calling you Israelites out of this kingdom, man. Because there's no reason for you to fall to fall and share in Esau's destruction, man. Let this devil die on his own. Let this devil fall on his own. Walk away from this devil, man. Let him face his punishment by himself. But our people, they're in that slave mentality. Why is Jacob spoiled, right? Jeremiah chapter 2. Why is Jacob spoiled? Why are people acting like servants? Why are kings upon, going into the Ecclesiastes as well? Even though you are princes, walking on the earth as servants, and even though the servants are on the horseback, it is just for a moment, just for a season. It is temporary, okay? So there's no need for us to act like servants forever. Get in your kingly, get in that kingly mind state. You're about to inherit a whole universe, all right? Go into Judges chapter 5 verse 11. Rehearse the righteous act. It is righteous, okay? It's not wicked for you to, it's not wicked for you to start building up yourself to inherit the kingdom right now. It's not wicked for you to start building up yourself in that kingly mind state. Start acting like the men that you are, the men that are about to inherit the kingdom. It's not wicked for you to do that. It's time for you to start you're building up yourself in that position. Start building up yourself to inherit the kingdom, because that is what you're going to get, okay? Stop following this devil around thinking that you are joined to him, or that that he sees you, that he sees you as one of his own, because he does not, okay? He just all part of what he deceits, and we know that he is. The scripture says, going back to the book of Matthew, when Yahushua was cursing out the Pharisees, that Esau is the father of lies, okay? And that you people, you want to be of that father of lies. As he said, you have your father the devil. And what I was speaking about, was speaking about Esau, the so-called white man, going back to the garden, going back to Cain, going back to even Esau, even the original Esau Edom himself. Alright, so let's continue on with this video.
Or greed. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land.
Ooh, that's a big one right there. I can, I don't even need to go into any precepts, man. The whole Bible talks about how, how Esau rules, man. They're attacking his brother Jacob. For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, even shame shall pursue thee. Because because of thy wickedness against thy brother Jacob, because all the things that he has done against us, going back to the book of Maccabees, that was Edomites all the way. The destruction of the first temple, killing Jake, making them, and even the apostles put that in their camp. All the wickedness that Esau was doing during the time of the destruction of the first temple, man. And that they would force you to eat your own garments, force you to eat your own sandals, force you to eat your own children, force you to eat your own flesh. This is the things that Esau was doing, man. So let me get this precept instead of getting any precept going into the ways that Esau destroyed us as a people. Alright, slavery. You don't look no further than further than that. If you can't believe that these devils are that wicked, look at the way he treats you Israelites right now in Babylon. Alright, so the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Now start from verse 10 and it reads, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And who is your enemy? Alright, let me get that. Because because if I quote, if you quote a precept, if I haven't gotten to going to precept that well, it's good for me to go back to it, since I'm still building up my mastery of this word. Alright, so the book of Psalms 83, and it reads, I'll start from verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederates against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarines. So your top enemy is Esau, Edom, okay, the Edomites. Now going back to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12. It's like an Ecclesiasticus, like I made a mistake right there. Now I was thinking that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12 also has some fire precepts in it. But anyway, Ecclesiasticus 12 from verse 10 again. Never trust thine enemy. And we've already established who our enemy is, starting from Esau, Edom, and all the other nations, okay? Because we always use this precept for Esau, but it also applies to all the other nations as well. You can't trust them, okay? The only people that you can't even trust your own people, because 2/3 of our people, 2/3 of the nation of Israel are our enemies as well. So the people that I can trust are the sincere brethren, the sincere Akim and the Aqua Tata. I believe the same things as you, and are joined together in you in pushing this word, in prophesying and waiting for the downfall and destruction of this kingdom, alright? So Ecclesiasticus 12 verse 10, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not altogether been wiped away. Alright, because you can by observing this devil, observing his actions, don't believe in his words, observe his actions, okay? Because this devil will give you a vaccine and tell you that it can completely cure you of this C19. Let's give it to the Negroes, Latino and Native Americans first, and turns out that the vaccine is one of the most dangerous things that you could take, because here you have people dropping dead from it, you have people getting all kinds of sicknesses and all kinds of diseases from it. Okay, you have all kinds of you have all kinds of situations occurring because of this vaccine. It's even more deadly than the virus that is supposed to protect you from. But and then what does it do? It says let the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans take it first. The ones whom majority of the Hebrew Israelites, are prophesying that are the true Israelites according to the Bible. They just suddenly out of nowhere, the three people that they claim to be from different races. The three nations that Esau claims to be from different races are suddenly just joined together out of nowhere, showing you these devil's actions, man. Can you trust somebody like this? He says one thing and then he now goes up and does something else. As he just says, that his words are smooth as butter, but in his heart were drawn swords. Okay, that's why you need these precepts. That's why you need the scriptures. And let me get that. I might be a little off in my precept, but it's in the book of Hebrews. I believe that 4 and 11 or 11 and 4. Okay, sorry, Hebrews 4 verse 12. Okay, so this is the book of Hebrews 4 verse 12, and it reads, for the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. That's why you need this word, man, so you can see into the hearts of these devils, and you know that their hearts are all together, their rust is not altogether wiped away. Alright, so going on back to the video.
Let him not breed in great numbers, for he will make a desert of his home and yours. Shun him. Drive him back into his jungle lair, for he is the harbinger of death.
And you see that, when we talk about how we should stay away from these devils. When we talk about how we should shun these, how we should talk about how we should stay away from these devils, from these Edomites. People start to get messed up about it, thinking about how you can't say that about these people. You can't say that about the Edomites. When we tell you that you shouldn't be joined together with these devils. People start getting messed up, getting messed up and bug out all about it. But these things that you're saying, they are all scriptural, okay? First and foremost, letting us breathe in great numbers. And that's why going back to that same book of Obadiah said that he made small among the heathen, because you can't let these devils multiply, man. You can't let the seed of the wicked multiply. Even the scriptures tell you about that the seed of the wicked, that they will be utterly destroyed, okay? I'm just quoting these precepts now because I just want to round this up real quick. But but all these things that he was saying, let him not multiply in great numbers, shun him, okay? Shun these devils. And why would we not shun them? Because of their wicked. You see the wicked actions that they are doing. They deserve punishment for this, man. As even scripture said that you should prepare slaughter for their children because of the iniquity of their fathers, okay? And guess what? In the kingdom, you won't have this. In the kingdom, you won't have this. Let me just read this one first. Isaiah 14 verse 12, and it reads, "Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities." And Esau has a so-called depopulation agenda that he's doing right now, talking about making sure that the earth is under 500 million people, and then he now puts that extra in perpetual balance with nature. But we know that is just deceit. That is more deceit from Esau Edom, lying that you need only 500 million people to be in perpetual balance with nature. Well, guess what? The earth is not even overpopulated as it is right now. There aren't more humans on the earth than resources. There are more Edomites on the Slovakia. There are more Edomites on the earth than resources right now. Because what you have is these devils, when they are holding everything for themselves, which also goes into another quote that he made at the end, where he said that he is the harbinger of death. Because even the scripture said that Esau is as he expanded himself as death, okay? He's not satisfied. He expanded himself as death, so he's greedy, he's covetous, just like he just wants more and more and more. He takes and takes and takes. He takes from the earth. This is why we are in the kingdom. We're going to have our own depopulation agenda. We're going to make sure in the kingdom. We're going to make sure that the Edomites don't pass a certain level. Okay, we're going to make sure that the Edomites don't pass a certain population. We're going to keep their numbers as low as possible. If they give birth to more than the required number of Edomites in the kingdom, guess what? We're going to put those babies down, man. All right, because even the scripture said that happy shall he be that taketh thy little ones and dash their heads against a stone. And that's of course that's not speaking of babies of the Edomite babies, but speaking of these elites, man, these wicked elites, these low level Edomites as well. We are bringing back that vengeance for what he did for us, what he did to us throughout history, okay, throughout the times when your people had even a little bit of authority. Okay, going back to Haman, the Agagites in the Persian Empire, going back to the Babylonian Empire, when Nebuchadnezzar gave you Edomites the authority to chase after our people and bring them into captivity. Whenever Edomites had a little bit of authority over our people, you see the wickedness that they did against us, man. You see all the kinds of evil that they did against us. Once again, bringing up the transatlantic slave trade, because it's the most recent one, and of course in the future that is coming right now, Jacob's trouble, okay. Because you devils are going to have to pay for that as well, because we already know what kind of wickedness that you will do during that time. And have to run that back. Have to run that back. Because that was beautiful right there. Right, let me quickly run that back.
Shun him. Drive him back into his jungle lair, for he is the harbinger of death.
So you heard it right there, man. Shun him, drive him back to his jungle lair. That is exactly what they did to these devils. That Prophet Job prophesied, that Prophet Job spoke about. Going back to the book of Job 30, where he talked about how. Let me get that. Book of Job 30. That's exactly what they did. You see the precepts. You see how the precepts are just nicely and beautifully connecting and woven together. Right, the book of Job 30, and it from verse 4. Who caught up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. Because that's exactly what this devil is. He's a thief, Scripture says that the devil comes as devil comes but to what? To steal, to kill, and to destroy. So when you see Edomites rolling up to your block, when you see these devils rolling up to your city or your land, you know what they are coming for: to steal, to kill, and to destroy. You can't trust these devils, man. Whenever in the ancient world, whenever an Edomite was living among these nations, when everybody always looked at him with with a side eye, because they knew what he was. They knew. They knew how these devils get down, man. To steal, to kill, and to destroy. That's the motto of these devils, man. I'm pretty sure that steal, kill, and destroy is on these wicked elites. Is how these wicked elites banners down on their family crests in some language like Latin or something. The Rothschild and Rockefeller families steal, kill, and destroy, because that's what they love to do, man. That's all they have done on the earth, Steal lands, steal nations, steal people, steal the souls of men. Kill people, kill the earth, kill the lands, kill the souls of men once again, and destroy people. That's all they do. Everything they see, they must either steal it, must either kill it, or completely destroy it. Alright? That's why when these devils go down, the whole earth will be rejoicing, man. The scripture said that the world will break forth in singing. Imagine that. If these devils go down, the world will start singing, rejoicing, man. Imagine that when salvation comes and the New Jerusalem and then the elect are coming down on the earth again after it's completely destroyed. The animals, the animals that survive, that survive that destruction will start singing. The birds will start chirping and singing. The sun will give out light and shining down during that time. Even the trees will be singing. They say that, and what do they say? Okay, and you can read about that in the book of Isaiah 14. They will break forth in song, saying that what, since thou hast gone, and once again, the apostles even brought this out. Okay, Isaiah 14 verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fair trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou hast laid down, no feller is come up against us. Since thou hast laid down, nobody has come down to cut the trees, to do the deforestation. Nobody is killing animals for all kinds of wickedness, for testing their poisonous medicines, or for making the poisonous medicines. Everything is set in order, everything is at peace, everything is at rest. In other words, everything is back in its rightful order. And during this time, and all these nations, they will be against these devils. That's the part of the reason why Esau will have to be wiped out, because you can take, all right, Edomite women for yourselves. That's perfectly fine, well and good. But who will take the Edomite man? Because you damn well know that there's not going to be any Israelite woman I'll be looking at an Edomite man like, I don't want that they're looking at the Edomite like a man like, I don't want to marry that. Or an Israelite man, looking at his daughter like, let me give this to an Edomite. Hell, even the heathen aren't going to get an Israelite woman, So and the heathen are definitely aren't going to give their own children to the Edomite male to marry. So the Edomites, and the Edomite women, even the scripture said that their women. That women will not mourn for them, man. So that the Edomite woman isn't even going to want to be with the Edomite man in that day. They're going to be trying to sell themselves. They're going to even be willing to sell themselves off to these other nations, and so especially an Israelite man. So who in that day is going to want to be with an Edomite man? That's how these devils will be taken out, man. Because they will simply be unable to replicate. They will simply be unable to be. They'll simply be unable to reproduce, right? You're not going to have any more Edomites in the kingdom, because nobody will want to be with these devils. That is how badly they will be shunned in the kingdom, man. And even it's just that and the last part is that they are as death. So let me get that. They are as death because they cannot be satisfied. Right? Even the scriptures goes all into that, So you see, let me see if I can get that. Now I can't remember how it goes. I think he expands himself as death, something like that. They cannot be satisfied, man. That just shows you. This is speaking completely of Esau, completely of these devils, man. That whole scroll concerning the beast, man. It should be beware of the beast Esau, beware of the beast E. No, I can't bring it out. Yeah, so I'll close out with this. Here it is. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5, and it reads, Yea also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So the scriptures right, liking him as death because of, he cannot be satisfied. He always wants to take and take and take. He's covetous, he's greedy, like I said. And it's also the harbinger of death, because once again, what is his blessing? The sword, a cutting and killing instrument, the first murderer, the first serial killer, the first the first murderer and the first serial killer. They were both Edomites, right? Cain and Lamech. Cain and Lamech. Because the reason why Lamech was killing the children of the children of Adam, the sons of Adam, the sons of the righteous at that time, because he could, he wanted the most time, he wanted to challenge Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. He said that what? Let me go to that. He said that what? That low. Okay, I think that's it. Genesis chapter 4. Yeah, it is. He said that Genesis 4 verse 24. Genesis 4 verse 24. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. So he knows about the story of his forefather Cain. What happened to him is caused because he had killed the brother Abel. And he wanted to replicate that by killing, tens of the sons of Adam. And he said that what? If I am killed, if Cain is judged for, if Cain is judged sevenfold, his punishment is sevenfold for killing Abel, how much more me that has killed so many of the sons of Adam? If will the Most High not judge me for it? So this is what these devils do, man. They are harbingers of death. They don't to show you how Esau has killed and destroyed the whole earth. How Esau has killed and destroyed peoples and nations. What he has done to the whole earth. The scripture said that he had made it the earth as a wilderness. He had made the earth desolate. Empty, void, without. Right, they had made the earth empty. And these devils have to be taken out, man, because you are seeing all these wickedness that they are doing. You see their wicked ways, and you see that even he knows that what he has done is wicked. He knows that he needs to be taken out of power, man. That's why these scrolls that's why these scrolls existed in that time. And guess what? Those scrolls are symbolic of the scriptures, because we'll still have the scriptures in the kingdom, man. We'll still have the scriptures in the kingdom, and we'll still be reading these scriptures to the heathen, to remind them of how wicked these devils are. We'll be reading these scriptures to the heathen, and the heathen will have to learn these scriptures to be reminded of how wicked these devils are, because Jake won't need that reminder anymore. Jeremiah 30 verse 30 and the book of Hebrews 8 verse 8, we will have all the scriptures in our inward parts. We'll have the scriptures locked in our heads. So we won't need a reminder, because everything will be in our minds. We will always have that remembrance. It will be written in our bodies, alright? So with that, I'm just going to end it there. Let's give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yavashai, Ba'asham Rachak Wadash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the spirit of you, Akemayu Akwas for edified. Shalom.